cannot wait to get this food, man. Okay, so Poiette, listen. So we've been talking about this whole first year of business,
Yeah.
right? And so you are working your career, right? Where you are in government, you're working this business and it's going amazing in the midst of a pandemic.
Yep.
But even then, life is still life.
Life is still life.
So talk about that part. Talk about what in life was
Yes.
still.
So randomly, in like I think it was like the beginning of July, we had these like series of rainstorms in the DMV, where I live. And the rainstorms would be maybe like 10 to 15 minutes, but they were
Yeah.
so violent. And
Wow.
randomly one night, one hit the area and a tree fell on my house.
Oh my God.
Yes, literally fell on my roof, like into like my bedroom.
Were you in your bedroom?
I was in my bedroom. Yes.
Stop it.
And what happened was it knocked the sprinkler, the fire sprinkler.
Right.
And I never even knew that the amount of water that came out of those sprinklers could come out of there. It was like Niagara Falls in my bedroom.
Oh my God. What was your thought? Like right then and there,
I didn't believe this was happening. I was just like, clearly, I must be dreaming right now. Like, this cannot be real. And I ran downstairs because my roommate was like doing some work downstairs. I ran downstairs, got her. We came back up and we see like this water just flowing. And we started taking like bins that were in my house that I like stored clothes in.
Yeah.
And like putting it underwater and trying to like dump it in my bathtub. But the water was coming down so much that we couldn't control it. So, we had called like 911. They sent the fire department.
Yeah.
As soon as the fire department came, they came and just shut off the water supply, which I should have did, but
right.
you don't think about
but
those.
In the moment, you're panicking,
exactly.
right? You're like, what's going on?
Shut off the water supply, stop the water from falling.
Yeah.
But at this point, that sprinkler had flooded my entire house, 3rd floor, 2nd floor, basement.
And so now, how did you pivot, right? Because again, to your point, you got to press,
yes,
right?
Yes, you got to keep going.
Business doesn't stop, right?
Yeah.
But how did you maneuver through it? How did you pivot?
So the good thing is when you own a home, you have homeowners insurance.
Right.
So
that's a blessing.
They took care of everything. They relocated us to a hotel the first week, and then they moved me into an apartment. So I pretty much was displaced for an entire year. In the midst of that, I also got my car stolen right in front of me. Yes.
Right.
I was right in front of me. Like the crime spiked during COVID.
Yeah.
So,
I can imagine.
It's one of those things where, they tell you all the time, like, don't leave your car running. Like, that's just common sense, right? But I was dropping something off to one of my cleaners. And there was like construction going on. So I didn't want to be rude and just kind of like hand it to her out the window. I got out the car, gave it to her, and literally a younger person jumped right in the car and drove off.
Yes. It was almost like they were watching you.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm like, okay, I'm living in a hotel. My car is stolen, but I still have to go to work. I still have to, run my business.
Yeah.
So you have to keep going.
At that point, what were some of the essential things you told yourself, right? Because you can get so discouraged.
Yeah.
It's almost like, when entrepreneurs go through things, right? So let's say you have certain areas, okay, the business is going well, right? But then life is over here hitting you.
Yeah.
And you're almost like, what is happening?
What is happening?
Right? Like, what am I? And it's easy to feel discouraged.
Yeah.
It's easy to be like, I can't win, right?
Yeah.
Because if you don't have wins in all areas, you just can't win.
Yes.
But what did you have to tell yourself in order to just keep pressing?
Yeah, so that's a great question because I feel like I am someone who always looks at situations like, okay, what is this trying to teach me? What's the lesson in this? And what I was most grateful for is insurance. My homeowner's insurance, my car insurance, because they took care of everything right away. With my car insurance, they were able to tow the car. They eventually found the car, so they were able to tow it and take it to the mechanic, and then provide me a rental car. So it's like, even though these things were happening, like I was covered. So I had a place to live, a comfy place to live. I had all my needs met. I had a car to use in the meantime.
Right.
So it's like just being grateful that one, I have these things available to me, and that this is why we have insurance in the first place.
That's amazing. I love that you talked about the spirit of gratitude, right? And just being grateful, because even though it wasn't what you're accustomed to, you were still covered, right? So it may not have been to the point where it was, but you were covered and you had what you needed so that you could press. Because I'm gonna tell you, so the pandemic, I shared with you how it was actually a best business year that I had since I opened my business. I started my business, but it was also the year that I went through my separation and divorce.
Oh, wow.
So for me, it was almost the same thing. It was like, how do you pivot, right? How do you, life is hitting you. You think that you have this okay in your home, but it doesn't. It breaks apart. It falls apart. But yet in business, you're doing well. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what? But I love, it's the spirit of gratitude. It's just being grateful that, you know what? I still have my kids, right? I'm grateful that, God covered me. I'm grateful that, I have these other things and I can help other people and, I'm still okay, right? And still kind of working out my own stuff. But I just love that you talked about just being grateful. Because a lot of times it seems minor, but it really is. I feel like it's something that is, underestimated is how much just having gratitude can really help you press through. And especially in business, right? Because listen, life still goes on. It'll still hit you and you over here trying to work this business, So I don't want anybody to get discouraged. But that's how it is with entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
That's amazing to me. I did not know that. So with your after that, so now you're back. When did you get back to your house, or when were you able to kind of get everything?
1 year later. I moved back in at the end of June of 2021.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And
to
business
a
was
brand new
still...
house.
Okay.
Because so much of it was destroyed, the homeowner's insurance had to renovate it. So now I have a house that was built in 1997 with now 2020 modern, appliances and everything.
Better.
Exactly.
Listen, come on, better, right? We upgrade. You take literally all things work out for the better. It works out for the good of those who love God.
It was a true blessing.
Absolutely. I love that for you.
Next time on Brunch with Bosses.
Right? You're still working in your career, and you're running your business. At what point, did you realize, it was time to step away from the job and just focus full time on entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so a lot of people always say, if you had the amount of time, if you had the hours in a day that you dedicate to your job, if you were able to dedicate that to your own business, then you could essentially, grow your business at an exponential rate. But a lot of us, we're like, oh.
Family, Giselle Quintanilla here of B3 Media TV. And listen, I am so excited. I just launched my newest book, The Pain Plan, the blueprint for healing from emotional grief in marriage, separation, and divorce. Listen, this book right here, we all know somebody who is struggling through a broken marriage, who is sitting in the uncertainty of separation, or who is dealing with the residue of emotional hurt after divorce. And we need to heal, because healing is the only way that we're going to be able to operate in our purpose. So I am super passionate about helping people heal through their emotional grief and deal with their triggers and confront those things that we don't want to confront, so that we can stop bleeding over people who had nothing to do with our wounds. The Pain Plan is not just my story of what I dealt with separation and divorce, but it is also the key and the roadmap to practical tools that are going to help people heal so they can move on to their next, so they can live the abundant life, the purpose-filled life, the life that we were created to live. So listen, The Pain Plan is available right now on Amazon. So you want to go and get this book. And if it's not for you, I know you know somebody who needs a beacon of hope, somebody who needs to heal. And so that person, listen, you love them, get this book for them. Help them heal so they can move on to their next. Make sure you like, subscribe, B3 Media TV on YouTube, and we'll see you soon.
Celebrate women's empowerment on B3 Media TV and tune in for inspiring stories, thought-provoking discussions, and relatable content that showcases the strength and achievements of brilliant, brave, and bodacious women everywhere. We are B3 Media TV.